Welcome back, everyone. So these past couple weeks have been rough for multiple reasons, which caused a delay in this video's release. I mentioned in a post that there were health issues in my family that would cut into my customizing time. Everything went fine with it. My dad's surgery was a success and he's doing great, thank goodness. But I've also been dealing with a breakup, so that's been pretty awful, and I haven't felt all that creative since it happened. Mostly I've just been sad. I considered, because it's officially Mermaid now, to interrupt my Gothic Gals series and just start a brand new doll with a mermaid theme. But I already filmed the whole sewing process of this G3 Clawdeen doll I was working on a couple weeks ago. So I decided to go easy on myself because I've been having a really hard time, and I figured the best thing to do would be to finish her up, rather than start on a whole new project. I hope you enjoy. So let's get started with the concept. This doll's main inspiration comes from Anna Valerius in the movie Van Helsing, primarily in her hair and outfit. Actually, it's more like her combined with Van Helsing himself in all his Hugh Jackman glory, with the long coat and everything. Van Helsing is definitely one of my favorite werewolf movies out there, along with Underworld. Both are overall just a good time. I decided her name would be Nanaya. I was looking on the web for some of the oldest werewolf legends, and it turns out one of the first ones is of a wolf man or beast man in the Tale of Gilgamesh. The goddess in that story is Inanna, and a variation of that name is Nanaya. The pants are made from this old green napkin I had. I used a pair of Disney Descendants pants I took apart to trace the pattern for them. I've tried sewing pants in the past with disastrous results, and this time it only took me 2 tries to get it right. Success! In Van Helsing, Anna has a pretty white top with some embroidery on the neckline and sleeves, so I recreated that for this doll, only with green thread instead of red. I put the fabric on paper when I fed it through the machine so it wouldn't get eaten, since it's super thin material. I used this thin, flexible faux leather for the structure of her corset. creating a pattern out of paper first. I attached the corset pieces together with strips of brown ribbon. I used a glue stick to temporarily tack it down before sewing. For the coat, I modified Enchantarium's Maddie Hatter coat pattern in order to make a cool duster coat. I'll link it down below. This is a direct homage to both Van Helsing himself as well as Heisenberg from Resident Evil Village, another part of my favorite werewolf media. The fabric is actually from these pants I found on sale at Walmart, and it had the perfect tan color I was looking for. I'm really happy with this outfit, definitely some of the most fun I've had with sewing so far. If you look closely at Anna's hair, you'll see it's deep brown with some red and lighter highlights in those glorious curls. I have this yarn that has the exact same variation, so I rooted the doll with it, keeping in mind where I wanted the part to show off the ears. Has anyone else had this issue with the new G3 dolls? On 2 occasions I go into reroot and the hairline just splits open. Maybe it's the vinyl. I had to sew it up on this doll because I didn't want to take out the hair I just spent hours rerooting. I straightened the 100% acrylic yarn with my mini hair straightener, and then wrapped them up in these cute little Bantu knots in order to paint the ears and face easier. She's rocking these knots, but her final hair is going to be the loose curls in the end. I live with my sister and her fiance, and he was so kind as to 3D print these shoe bases for me. He is my 3D printing guru, so thanks, Leo. Now, unfortunately, the bases didn't end up working for what I had in mind. They just don't fit the new G3 Monster High dolls, and I was struggling with modifying them to fit her. My wise sister said it best, work smarter, not harder. So, to save myself countless headaches, I decided to upcycle these boots instead. I think they probably came from an Elsa doll based on the designs on them, but they fit the G3 Monster High doll feet perfectly. I painted the shoes brown and added little moons to them for extra detail. They look so much better than anything I would put together myself. If I really want to make doll shoes, I have to dedicate more time to it, so it might potentially be an experiment for future Hanu. For Nanaya's backstory, I decided that, like Van Helsing and Anna, she will be a monster hunter. She is a half-wolf traveler and blacksmith. Most of her own weapons she's forged herself. They are pure silver, so she needs to cover the handles of all her weapons in order to use them without having a reaction to the metal. These little swords I found in a multi-pack on Amazon. I think they're supposed to be bookmarks or charms or something. Out of the same faux leather I used for the corset, I created some sheaths and a belt for her. Another accessory that is a direct homage to Heisenberg from Resident Evil Village is her shades. They're not just to protect her eyes from the sun or her forge, however. They're made of a special silver-backed quartz that allows her to see people's true natures. Monster hunter glasses, if you will. Like the goggles from Hellboy 2 that allow them to see the entrance to the troll market. I made them out of wire, beads, and used a UV top coat nail polish over iridescent vinyl for the lenses. They were actually the first part of this project I worked on, with many prototypes before the final. They're not perfect, but I'm happy with how they turned out. I love the new G3 Clawdeen base. She has such a beautiful sculpt. I really want to emphasize the molded fur on her body, so I used washes and dry brushing to make the fur match her hair, fading into a pretty gray wolf color. Let me tell you a little more about her backstory while I'm working on the face. Nanaya is an adventurous spirit. She likes to be out in the field hunting monsters who threaten innocents. There's always a niggling sense of guilt in the back of her mind, because she knows that, being a half-wolf, people could consider her monstrous as well. Like the Witcher, she's not always thanked by the people she saves. More often than not, she's driven out of town by the ignorant villagers. You know, morons. I imagine that she met my previous doll Lisbeth a long time ago, when some of the villagers below the Bathory Castle were telling stories about a horrible monster that lived up there, who had been slaughtering their people. They begged Nanaya to go and slay the beast, which she had every intention of doing. But when she found Lisbeth there, the vampire proved that she had nothing to do with those murders, that it was another beast entirely living in the woods at the edge of town. The heiress showed Nanaya such hospitality and kindness that they soon became friends. And then they became much more. But because of Nanaya's lifestyle, finding jobs hunting beasts, moving from town to town, she can't stay with Lisbeth at her castle. The vampire heiress doesn't mind, however. She has forever to wait for her beloved to return to her. Nanaya comes to the Bathory Castle whenever she's in the area to visit her love. So her face-up is done. Let's style her hair and get her put together. After Nanaya, there's only one more doll in this Gothic Gal series. She will probably be a little further down the line. I have some other projects to finish first. Next doll coming up will probably be my first mermaid on this channel. It's a doll made specifically for my aunt, and it's been a long time coming. More to come on that later. What do you think of Nanaya? She was a lot of fun to make. I'm happy with how she came out, and the little swords are really the cherry on top. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you comment, I will answer. Time is a good healer, and things can't stay sad forever. I have to remind myself of that every day. Take care of yourselves, Nuggets, and I'll be sure to do the same.